Hi. What I want to talk about today is meeting yourself, right? We talk a lot of There's a lot of conversation about there's the four existential questions, and what one of them is, who are you? Who are you really? We and the first step of exploring who are you is to recognize who you're not. We've talked about this before, and I'll just remind you really quick. But let's say I cut this finger off. Is it, am I less me? Because if I consider this is me, and this finger is me, if I cut it off, is my less me somehow? Or am I the same me? Is we For those of you that are maybe a little older, at 40 and above, you're like, wow, inside I feel exact same way when I was 20 or when I was 15. Like, I don't somehow feel 40, even though it's a number. Like, I don't somehow that I'm 40. Uh, that thing that it's me, that it's observing my life, it feels exactly the same as when I was 20. Now I'm 40 and feels the same. So there's no difference somehow that I've reached an older age that this somehow changes. So then I'm not my age. If I can cut this finger, if I cut all the fingers, it might less me. If I cut the whole arm, it might less me. If I cut the other arm, it might less me. Right? We can. So then, I'm still the same me, even without my arms. I still have all my arms, but you can conceptually get behind this idea, right? So you're not the body. So obviously you're not. So who are you? Um, and there's the easy answers. The answer I'll give you, it's that your consciousness and your love, and they're one and the same. But how do you meet yourself? How do you meet yourself there? How do you get to know yourself there? And a lot of people will say that, there's this saying that a lot of people say is meet your demons. So usually there's this idea that the way to meet yourself is to meet your demons. And what are your demons? Your demons are your fears, your insecurities, your stories, your identity, your ego. Those are your demons. So we have these. So anything you're identified yourself as is not who you are. So meet yourself, to meet who you are, you have to get past these things. And I don't know why we're wired this way as humans, but it seems to me that the only places we meet ourselves is we have the opportunity to meet ourselves is a time of adversity, because that's where all the stuff comes up. And then we have a choice to meet with these parts of ourselves, or we have the choice to run away. So I would invite us to not wait for these adversities and to meet yourself. There's a very simple question you can ask yourself. See, the one way you can look at it is, in life we only have two choices: to meet this moment with fear, or to meet this moment with love. In this moment, it's easy to meet it with love when everything's going your way. If you're on vacation and you're with your friends, if you're with your beloved and you're on the beach and it's 82 degrees and it's even then people are like, oh, but it's too hot, or it's too cold, or it's too humid, or it's too many bugs. People will find ways to even not meet that moment with love. But when things are going well, things are going, the economy is booming, your work, you're getting paid well, or your business doing well, and you feel on top of the world, you're easy to meet this moment with love. can you meet this moment in love in the moment of adversity? And that's why it's called meeting your demons. So those adversities makes us afraid, like, oh my God, what if, like, we just went through this pandemic where a lot of people, we were all forced to kind of meet our demons, and a lot of people responded to that with fear. And it's a tricky thing, because fear, a lot of times you can, your friends, your community, and everyone around you will justify your fear. They would agree, yeah, if you have every right to be defensive, to be angry, to be resentful. If this happened to me, I'll be angry and defensive and afraid and all those things, right? And that's what happened collectively. Like, this scary thing was glooming over our heads, and collectively we all responded with fear. Some people responded with love, but a lot of us responded with fear. And instead of waiting for those, how do we go towards them on a daily? So this is where two things come to face yourself. And one of those is meditation, and one of those is exercise. And if you're willing to push yourself in both of those, you'll meet yourself. And you could choose to, again, meet yourself, or you can, every day, not only every day, but every moment, you have an opportunity to meet yourself, meaning to choose love, to come back to love. Because at each moment, something might not be happening the way you want it to happen, and then, like, oh, could be like, I'm saying, laying on the bed, and I'm like, I'm not quite comfortable, like, oh, let me get a blanket or another pillow or something, let me snuggle with my beloved, and then maybe if I do those things, this moment will be better. So that is not to say that you shouldn't do those things, but are those things you're doing it from a place of love, or are you doing it from a place of fear? And I mean, including a lot of things in this fear, right? Just the basic disposition of this moment as it is. If you're not in love with this moment as it is, we can make the argument that you're in some type of fear. So how do we face these fears? And so that doesn't mean that you cannot meet this moment with love and grab a blanket, grab a pillow, and snuggle with your beloved. Are you coming from a place of lack, or are you coming from a place of love, which this moment's perfect, and this moment's perfect, and hanging out, snuggling with my partner is perfect, and no, not snuggling with my partner is perfect, and you're meeting each moment, and you can actually make this decision with a lot more conviction, with a lot more clarity, with a lot more power, with a lot more intensity, that you can meet this moment when you're coming from love. A lot of people think, well, if I'm just happy with this moment as it is, I won't do anything. I don't think just what's true, from what I can tell, from what I've seen, what I experienced myself, it's the opposite. The more you're in love with this moment, the more you want to give yourself fully to this moment. You want to die into this moment. You want to be reborn into this moment. You want to fully give yourself. And that would look different for every person. That's the beauty of being human, that how you express that is uniquely to you. So I want to give some few more concrete examples, and I'll share a personal story to make it more real, and to tell you in the moments where I didn't choose love, and the moments I chose fear, and the moment I chose love, and how powerful and how transformational that is. So in my marriage, I met a lot of moments in my marriage in fear. And I was afraid. And I didn't know I was afraid. I thought I was meeting this moment. I thought, because again, I've said this many times, but I knew I love my partner. I was fully, anyone who asks me in the middle of the night, wake me up, I'll tell you I love my partner. So I love her. Everything I do for her is because I love her. Everything I do for the relationship is from a place of love. Yet I wasn't meeting each moment with love because I was constantly complaining, blaming, nothing was quite right. I wanted everything to be a little different than the way it was. I was terrified about survival. I was terrified about money. I was terrified about the relationship. I was just, and I didn't even know that I was terrified. I thought I was showing up. I was working hard. I was making things happen. Things were happening. We had a lot of experiences. A lot of things happened. Yeah, looking back on it, I was meeting a lot of those moments from a place of fear, even though, like productively, maybe things were happening, we're making more money, we're traveling, we're doing things, we're making things happen. Yet looking back, I could tell I was meeting those moments from a place of fear. And I had really good excuses. And everyone I talked to justified my excuses. And they're like, yeah, of course you feel this way, and you're right. And if she's doing this, or if this is what's happening in your life, and like, of course, and that's not right, and that's not fair. Beautiful. I had the whole world agree with me. And then what that led to is her saying, she's like, I want to leave. I want to leave this relationship. And that was devastating to me. And at first, I met that with a lot of fear. I was terrified. And then I realized with the help of some friends that I was meeting this moment with fear. And I was like, well, can I meet this moment with love? If this is the last moment with this person that I married, because I'm saying that I love her, can I love her fully while she's walking away? And literally the last night that she was in this house, I was like, okay, I'm gonna love her. I'm gonna love her leaving. I'm gonna love all of it. I'm gonna love her leaving. I'm gonna love the pain. I'm gonna love the fear. I'm gonna love the doubt. And what was so fascinating about this experience is that I had to face myself. I had to meet myself. I had to meet all my fears, all my doubts, all my insecurity. It was all like, what does that mean? I'm a failure. Like all the stories, like I'm failing in this marriage. And then all the blame and shame. Like fuck her. Who the hell she like? What? Like I can't believe she's doing. She's not showing up. She's running away. I have to face all of those all at the same time. And I managed to do that in that moment. And I came home. And it was like, let's go talk. And we sat down to talk. And there was nothing to talk. Like, just tears down our eyes, both of us. Makes me want to cry thinking about it now. And you know what she said to me? She says, that's what I wanted this whole time. Just your heart, your love. I didn't have to convince her that I was loving her. I didn't have to write her poetry. I mean, those things are beautiful, but I didn't have to, because I was trying to convince her for this whole time we were married that I love her. And in that moment, when I met this moment with love, I didn't have to convince her. I didn't have to tell her that I love her. I didn't have to. She just sat in front of me and cried with me and said that that's all I wanted this whole time. because I was able to meet this moment with love. And her, as my partner, being the best mirror in my life, reflected that right back at me instantly. There wasn't a delay, there wasn't a thing, it was instantly right there, reflecting back at me love. And sadly, it is not a place you can arrive at each moment, this moment, and this moment, and this moment, and this moment, and this moment. No, I mean this moment, not that moment, this moment. Are you willing to face yourself? Are you willing to face the chatter, the noise, the doubt, the insecurities, the feelings, the emotions, all those things that are preventing you from showing up in this moment as love, which is who you are? Meet yourself. And after that experience, I was like, wow, that's all I needed to. I mean, that's all. It's extremely simple, but extremely difficult. So the practice of meeting yourself. So meditation, like, it's a good practice because you sit down, you're like, I'm gonna meditate for 1 hour, and then the body starts and the mind chatter starts, and like, oh, but it hurts, but what time is it, but I'm late, but I don't have the time, but I shouldn't be doing this, I have more important things to do, and like, this is stupid, why am I doing this, how long has it been, like, my body hurts, like, is this even good for you, like, all this stuff. And you feel like, just you facing yourself, right? These are the stuff that are coming up, and you choose, like, no, I'm just going to be here. When you exercise, and specifically when you push yourself, it's so fascinating because it's obvious to me, and this is not just my observation, but that's proven. The body is capable to do way more than what we think it is. So the only limitation we put on the body is the one we put on it. Like, you think you can do that, and then if you, like, let's say you're running, or you're pushing yourself somehow physically, and you're running, biking, swimming, whatever you're doing, like, where you push yourself, where you feel like, oh my god, I'm gonna die, like, and then you push yourself and you get past this, like, oh my god, I didn't die, oh my god, I'm here, I didn't die, oh my god, like, I can do this. Cold showers where you have to, like, this is crazy, this is stupid, this is insane, why am I doing this, this is cold, this is uncomfortable, why would I do that, is a form of facing yourself. But a more simple way to think about this, of facing yourself, if you don't want to push yourself to these extremes of, like, with meditation and exercise, you can push yourself by doing, in a sense, that which you don't want to do. Another one is fasting. Look at your relationship with food. Like, what happens if I don't eat for a day? Like, you're gonna have to face a lot of yourself if you don't eat for a day. But if someone makes you angry, if someone complains about you, if someone says something you don't like, if someone disagrees with you, these are all opportunities for you to face yourself. Can you meet that? The trigger. So anytime you're triggered is an opportunity for you to meet yourself. So, and every time you meet yourself, you get to know yourself, you get to come back home to yourself. And that opportunity is available many, many times a day. So the more you're triggered, the more fortunate you are. Means you have more opportunities to meet yourself. So you can be triggered in each moment, and you could choose to meet this moment with love instead of reaction, or I'm putting that in with fear because you're afraid, like, your identity is threatened. Can someone threaten the essence of who you are, the essence, that the one that I'm referring to, the one, if you cut if you cut everything and what's left is still you, the you that was you when you were born, and the you that was you, when you're 20, then you're 40, and the 60 and 80, and the you that's gonna be you when you die, like that you. Nothing can touch that. You can't kill that, and you can't destroy that, and you can't hurt that. So the only way for you to even know that is by, so if someone insults you, can someone insult that part of you, that it's you, that is love? That cannot be possibly insulted, as it cannot be killed and it cannot die. The only thing that can be killed and can be died is your identity, your ego. So if you connect to that and you know that and you get to know yourself, and someone's let's say insults you, like, you can't insult me because I've already killed the ego. The ego is dead. I'm killing it every day, in each moment. I'm facing it. I'm getting to know myself, and I'm killing these identities. And if you insult an identity that I have, I know you're insulting the identity, but I'm not attached to the identity. I'm not the identity. The identity is like a piece of clothing, like I could take this off, and I have a shirt here. I could take this shirt and put a different identity. If you insult this shirt, and if you say this shirt is stupid, and like this, you don't like, what is this mustard? What the hell? Why would you wear mustard? That's disgusting. What, you got ski on it? Are you scared? What are you, like? Are you stupid? Why would you ever dress like that? Who the hell? Like, I'm like, are you insulting me or are you insulting this shirt? Like, I'm not attached to the shirt. I could take it off. I could put another shirt. It's not me. Like, you're not insulting me if you're insulting the shirt. Does that make sense? So, but if you're insulting my identity, I'm not my identity. And if we practice this every day by meeting yourself, and you could choose, like you said, cold showers, fasting, extraneous exercise, meditation. These are conscious ways of meeting yourself. Every time you get triggered, you take a moment, like, take a breath, meet that trigger, face it, be with it, see what's bringing up for you, face that, question that, and hi, I'm here. I love you. And the mirror in front of you is going to start reflecting love back at you more and more and more. So this is what it means to face your demons. And again, unfortunately, it's not a place you can arrive. Like, I'd experienced this as the example I gave you. And in that moment, I was there. And I know the reason I knew I was there is because that's what the mirror reflected back at me. I thought I was there, but the mirror wasn't reflecting back to me. The times where I was trying to convince my wife, like, but I love you, I'm here, but I do anything for you. Like, she wasn't just looking me in the eyes and tears coming down her face and saying, that's all I wanted from you. So that's not what the mirror was showing me. The mirror was showing me, like, no, think you're showing in love, but nope, you're not. If you have to convince someone that you love them, you're not showing up in love. I'm not doubting that you love them. I have zero doubt actually you love them, because I know underneath all the confusion you are love. Under all the fear, you are love. So I have zero doubt that you love them. But if the mirror is not showing up, reflecting that to you, is because you're facing this moment in fear and not in love. So the last thing I want to say is that we have no choice in the matter here. Life's going to push us and push us and shove our face in it until we either choose to open our eyes to this reality, and it's going to push more and more intense stuff until we kind of wake up and look at this moment and be like, wow, like I had to go through a divorce to be able to choose to meet this moment with love. Like I needed that much of an intensity. I needed to be humbled down this much. I needed to be beaten down to my knees to such an extent to be able to humble myself so I can face this moment with love. Like I could have chosen to meet that moment with love earlier. So I promise you have no choice. At some point, even if you're successful and you make millions of dollars and you're married and you have kids and you have everything, that in itself will force you because, well, now I have it all. And now what? I've made the millions. I have an amazing wife or amazing husband. I have amazing children. I have an amazing house. I have an amazing car. I travel. I do it all. And something's missing. Your success will make you face that. Or you're going to lose it overnight, and that's going to make you face it. So life has only one interest, and that is to bring you home back to yourself. So the more you consciously choose to face that, and life's going to happen. You're going to lose people you love. People around you will die, and other atrocities will happen, and pandemics will happen, and markets will crash, and all this will happen, and then you'll come back, and then summer will come, and the markets will be going back up, and things will be good, and like all those things will happen in your life. How are you gonna face them? Things will happen. Horrific things might happen to you, and they happen to all of us because it's part of life. We and they're not horrific. Like when spring happens and a lot of fall happens, some people say it's the most beautiful time of the year. Leaves falling, a lot of colors. Some people find it extremely beautiful, but in reality, what's happening? Things are dying. So we also, as humans, we die, and we could be like, that's horrific, or we can face that with love. So again, the invitation here is for you to consciously start meeting yourself every day by facing your triggers that are happening on the daily, or with fasting, with cold showers, with meditation, with exercise, with all of it, with different practices. The list is long, as long as you choose to face yourself. That's my humble invitation for you, and I will see you on the road of meeting yourself, as I am now fully committed to keep meeting myself every day, and keep failing every day, and keep getting up and meeting myself again, and keep failing, not just every day, every moment, and getting up and meeting myself again. I will see you on the road of doing the same. Thank you. If you made it this far, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, and make sure to follow for more.